Welcome back, Marcus. In a minute.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most burning questions we have leading into Severance Season 2. Be warned, refiners, there are major spoilers ahead, and please try to enjoy all entries equally.
Well, I'm certainly gonna try.
Thank you.
Number 10. Cobel's Motivations. Harmony Cobel may be one of the most captivating TV villains we've seen in some time. That is, given she's a villain at all.
Peace offering.
Are we fighting?
Cobel is both the head of the severed floor at Lumon and Mark S.'s seemingly harmless, albeit quite nosy neighbor. While we spent a fair deal of time watching her integrate herself, pun intended, into Mark's personal life, what we never fully come to understand is why.
Are you really asking me that?
Yeah. What is it we actually do here?
We serve here!
Do her motives have something to do with Gemma's alleged death and reemergence on the severed floor? Does she have some personal stake in the severance process? Is she actually as dedicated to serving Kier as she claims? No matter what the true reason is, we imagine the truth is far from Milchick's freaky explanation.
We believe she developed an erotic fixation on you and had plans to pursue both you and your Audi in what might be termed a throuple.
What?
Number 9. The new MDR.
You can leave the balloons in the foyer by my old desk. We've much to discuss, and I don't want them distracting you.
The premiere episode of Severance's second season surely spawned more questions than answers for expectant fans, which, to be fair, is exactly what we anticipated. Of them, one of the more curious developments was the new group of refiners brought in to replace the rest of Mark's team following their uprising.
I suppose you're Mark S. I'm Mark W.
Who are you people?
Apparently, they were in part transferred over from a defunct Lumon brand, assuming that they were to be retired permanently. So, what happened to their previous branch? Also, exactly how many Lumon branches are there? Is the fact that one of them was shut down indicative of larger problems at the company that we're not yet privy to? And finally, will we ever see this new MDR team again? Time will tell.
We tried for weeks to get them back, Mark. None of them agreed.
Number 8. Dylan's Audi life.
Okay, so what is going on? We're not in trouble?
I don't think so. I mean, Milchick said our message got out. He said we're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
We don't care what anyone says. Dylan is the star of macrodata refinement. Having surrendered himself to manning the control board during their overtime contingency rebellion, we, the audience, see the least of Dylan in his Audi form. Though we previously learned that he has a son, that's really all we know about his life on the outside. Milchick manipulatively discloses to him that he has 2 other children and a wife named Gretchen. But we find it hard to believe anything he says at face value. We have to wonder, what motivated Dylan to be severed?
Famine, plagues, etc. So what is a desperate humanity to do?
We can make some assumptions. Perhaps the pay or the benefits are particularly good for someone supporting a family. But knowing Severance, we can't imagine the answer to be so simple. Maybe Dylan's Audi has a dark secret that we're yet to learn. And no, we're not talking about the MILFs.
I like to imagine my Audi's love made with a MILF or 2, which is obviously badass, but I do pity the husbands.
Number 7. The security office.
I think it's time for a field trip.
To the security office where all the security guards work. Amazing. Yeah.
Speaking of the rebellion, when MDR breaks into the security office, we see a whole slew of control options available to management, which correspond with settings in the severed employees' chips. We know this to be the case, as this led to their ability to wake themselves up on the outside. So what else can they do with those pesky little mind control devices?
I'll be upstairs after to let you know how it went.
Sorry if I freak out on you a little.
Don't worry. I'm very excited to meet you.
There are settings like Elephant, Clean Slate, and Glasgow, which for now we can only make inferences about. But based on their names, they all have some connection to the mind, memory, and consciousness. For example, Glasgow is a term used in the measurement of brain function in patients in comas, and an elephant never forgets. As for Clean Slate, that one sounds pretty self-explanatory and bleak. Will we see these functions come into play at some point? For the plot, we hope so. For the employee's mental state, not so much.
I really wouldn't mention this to your colleagues, Dylan. This OTC is pretty neat to know. Understand?
Number 6. Irv's paintings.
Was just going in. I was admiring the art while I wait.
When Irv wakes up on the outside during the overtime contingency, he's in the midst of painting a dark hallway, and at the end of which, a red elevator button shining down. We keen observers recognize this as the path to the testing floor, which we'd seen Miss Casey disappear into. First of all, what does Lumon do to employees on the testing floor? Why has Irv been there? And why does his Audi have an obsessive recollection of it?
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm just so sorry.
Well, no one is hankering to throw you in the break room. We'll do a wellness check with Miss Casey and go from there, all right?
Early in the first season, there are indications that his memories seem to be converging in a mysterious way, as black goop visually bleeds into his innie's perception while at work. We know that he has a long history with the company, but has he been reset in a way that's unique to the others?
I'm sorry. Please don't respond to any specific fact. That's 10 points off.
I was just...
Please don't speak further, or all remaining points will be deducted and the wellness session will end.
Number 5. Rabi and Reintegration.
You okay?
Sorry. Reintegration sickness.
The concept of reintegration is a particularly head-scratching one. When we meet PD on the outside, we learn that he's undergone a procedure to converge his severance chip, so that he has access to both his Audi and innie memories. This ultimately kills him, as there was a failure in the maintenance process, which we later hear from the rogue Rabi.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the one who helped your friend.
Helped? You mean reintegration? Killed him.
The procedure didn't kill Petey. If he had followed my post-op instructions and not simply run away at the first sign of sickness.
Rabi claims that she installed the devices, and now aims to reverse the terrible work that she's done. We see very little of her, so it's challenging to know exactly, for lack of a better phrase, what her deal is. Now, not yet having seen any developments in the Audi world since the events of the finale, there's a theory swirling that Mark may have opted to reintegrate. We can't know this for sure, but we have a hunch that Ragabi's character will return, and that we'll learn more about this puzzling procedure.
I think you want to do what's right. Both of you.
Number 4. Helly or Helena.
Gabby, this is Helena Egan. My gosh, Helena. So good to finally meet you.
Likewise.
Arguably the biggest twist of the Season 1 finale is the reveal that Helly is actually Helena Egan, Lumon CEO's daughter. When she wakes up outside, she brashly reveals that she's actually Helly and that she's miserable on the inside. When she returns to work in the premiere, she makes the interesting choice to lie to her team about her Audi's identity.
I was watching some nature show on TV, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt.
What kind of t-shirt? Did it feature like a band or pocket?
It was like a Save the Gorilla shirt?
Cool.
I guess.
This has raised the question, is the person we've seen back in MDR actually Helly? Or is Helena posing as her innie self to sabotage their operation? There's a tiny Easter egg that may be intended to imply the latter, as Helly's newest file to refine is titled Santa Mira, which may be an allusion to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Less than a month ago, Santa Mira was like any other town, people with nothing but problems. Then out of the sky came a solution.
Number 3. The Goats.
Careful out there, boss. Weird energy about.
No, we're not calling MDR the Goats, even though they are. We're talking about the literal goats that Helly and Mark stumble upon when they're exploring the severed floor.
They're not ready. You can't take them yet. They're not ready. It isn't time.
We only see them and their frazzled handler that one time, and there's never any indication as to why they're there, or what they're going to be used for. But once again, we can use some of our Audi knowledge and context clues to try and fill in the blanks here. Scientifically, goats have been used for cloning research since 1999, so there's likely some genetic experimentation going on at Lumon, which is being tested on this misplaced herd of cattle.
What if the goats are the numbers? Like we're deciding which goats live and which ones... Oh, God.
I doubt it's that.
Number 2. Where is Gemma?
Why is everything in boxes?
Evidently, Lumon's been blessed with a new wellness director.
Now onto what may have been the biggest twist of the first season as a whole, the revelation that Mark S.'s wife, who was presumed dead, is actually alive as a severed employee at Lumon. As we mentioned earlier, we know that her severed counterpart, Miss Casey, was sent down to the testing floor, but that's the last we see of her.
I'm sorry. I just have so much to do today. On you go.
The final frames of the Season 2 premiere seem to suggest that Gemma is alive, as we see her face and what appears to be some vitals flash on Mark's screen. While this clearly wasn't visible to Mark, this also implies that the work that he's doing at MDR has some bearing on Gemma's life. This will surely be a major plot point in Season 2, and we're on the edge of our seats waiting to learn more.
She's one of us. So if you want to help your Audi and find out what happened to her, I'll help.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
And finally, the question on everyone's mind.
Why are you a child?
Because of when I was born.
Oh wait, they answered that one. Never mind. Number 1. So, what's MDR?
I'm agog at how well I can tell you're already fitting in. The office feels whole. Now, let's get this party started.
We keep making reference to MDR, or Macro Data Refinement, which is the Lumon department in which Mark, Helly, Irv, and Dylan are bound. But no one actually knows what they're doing or why they're doing it.
The work is mysterious and important, and we deal with the uncertainty it brings us in the way that Kier would have wanted. Together, as a family.
They're tasked with fencing off numbers on their screens, which are meant to make them feel a specific emotion. And as we predicted in the previous entry, it seems that there's some connection between MDR and the employees themselves, though it's still entirely unclear. However, the fact that the team must be severed to complete their work and that their innies are kept in the dark as well seems to exhibit that there's something sinister happening in macro data refinement.
The surest way to tame a prisoner is to let him believe he's free.
There's a Kier quote for everything.
Do you have theories about any of the questions we posed here? Fire them off in the comments.
What? I'm smart. That's why I have 3 times as many finger traps as you guys.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.